Hi, Virgo. My name is Audrey Alison, and this is your February 2015 forecast for the month. I'm very excited to be here. Thanks for joining me and for subscribing and liking and sharing these podcasts, and for being super supportive on my business venture with Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot. Let's get into the forecast because February is a smooth month compared to March and April. So we start the month with our full moon on the 3rd of February. And this full moon is at 14 degrees Leo. So Leo for you is the sign right before you, your 12th house on the solar wheel. This is a very quiet full moon. Now, the 12th house is your psychic ability or your connection to your spiritual side. And a full moon brings endings or a culmination in the sector that it falls. So you could be ending a spiritual belief or putting an end to some of your quiet time. It is a quiet time, but there's an ending in the 12th. So if you're going inward and getting some meditations handled or some spiritual work, you might find that this could be interrupted a little bit because the full moon brings out something that is hidden or something that you can't see in this sector as well. So you might need to implement a different course or path of how you are getting your extrasensory perception on. The 12th is also artistic. It's ruled naturally by the planet Neptune, which is a really higher realm of an outer planet. So the 12th house could be artistic endeavors, not the 5th house of creative endeavors. The 12th house could be music, or that you could be putting an end to a music project, or something could be coming to a close or finishing up at that time. On the 11th of February, your ruling planet finally goes direct. How's that been for you? So it goes direct at 1 degree Aquarius. You probably, some of you Virgos might not have been feeling very well. The 6th house of health was affected in your retrograde, and you might start to regain some stamina after the 11th, but Mercury doesn't officially clear his shadow until after mid-month, 15th or so. So you want to wait a little bit before jumping right into, whatever regimens you have planned that were on hold. It looks like some of your workout routines have been stagnant because Mercury retrograde in the 6th house could be you under the weather or you not sticking to your commitment of whatever routine you have scheduled for yourself. The 6th house of daily regimen and schedule, the structural hours within the confines of your day. And literal routine, workout routine, might have been on pause or just sporadic. So give it a minute, and I hope you're feeling better. On the 18th of February, we have our new moon. We have our new moon at 29 degrees, 59 minutes Aquarius. And last month we had our new moon at 0 degrees Aquarius. So it's kind of like a double new moon for that, but the energy is so predominantly into Pisces that this will also affect your 6th house, but your 7th house as well. So it's health again, but it's also the house of the others, the significant other, or the partnerships, business partnerships. Having a new moon in this sector on the 18th, as well as the sun on the 18th, goes into Pisces, and that's activating your 7th house of marriage or business partnerships. So having the new moon and the sun there, the new moon's on the cusp, but it's predominantly there. This could draw in a new committed relationship. For those of you already in commitments, the sun in the 7th is absolutely where you want him, for those of you in committed relationships, because he'll be there from the 18th of February through March 20th, like he is every year. But it's shining, the sun is Apollo. He's the god, he's the life force. So having him in that sector, your relationships are really beautified at this time. And if you wanted to start your intention in that sector, go for it. 6th or 7th, I would do. It's up to you though. Use your discretion on that. We'll have I might recommend doing it in the 7th, your intentions, because next month the Pisces moon will have an eclipse to it, and that's not where you want to start your magic or your intentions. Okay, so on the 19th, we have a little romantic tryst happening in the air between Mars and Venus. Venus is going to enter Aries, the sign he naturally governs. And when he does that, he'll stay there through the 31st of March. So Venus, the next day on the 20th, follows him and enters Aries, but she's there through the 17th of March. So the masculine energies of Mars and the feminine of Venus, the determination and drive and passion and energy and abrasiveness of Mars, and the sensuality and smoothness and riches of Venus are working together in Aries, where they meet Uranus, who's been stationed there for several years. So Uranus, when these planets are combined together, their energies change. It's not just the specific energy that they hold within them, it's how they work together. And Uranus brings on very sudden shock and electrical surprise and very quick lightning bolt kind of inspiration. Both of these planets will be in your 8th house. All 3 planets will be in your 8th house. This is your 8th house is huge because it's taxes and estates and property and wills and resources, but it's also shared resources, shared intimacies. It's also death and rebirth. So there's a lot of ways to read this story as an interpreter, as a medium, and a messenger. I feel like this could work in a ton of ways. Mars could give you the stamina in your 8th house of sex, so your physicality could be strong, but Venus could influence your shared resources and the garnering of money. So this could be applied all different ways, but each way it's applied, you can be certain that with Uranus involved, this will be quick. And Mars as well. They're fast-paced. Not that Uranus moves at a fast pace, but when it's triggered, when it's conjunct, when something rubs up against it, there's a quick jolt of inspiration and a quick surprise happening here. So that would be interesting to see what takes place. It doesn't have to be on exactly the 19th. These transits will be there for 6 and 7 weeks. So pay attention to that because that's going to be exciting. Mars and Venus together. So we have Saturn, who's been in Sagittarius, and Jupiter's in Leo, and Uranus in Aries. So these are the fire signs. The grand fire trine is happening. When Mars and Venus go into Aries, they ignite Saturn. And Saturn is restriction. So these planets are playing against each other in very powerful ways. If you want me to take a look at your chart, I could get very pinpointed and detailed as to how this will influence you. It's almost impossible to give a forecast from beginning to end that's absolutely explicit to your natal chart when there are thousands of people watching this. If you'd like a reading with me, though, you can book with me all through the week. I'm at audreyallison.com and Facebook, Audrey Allison Astrology and Tarot. I'm going to get to the cards and see what is up for Virgo 2015. I'm expecting to see some health cards, whether it's strength or the 8 of Swords, maybe the Hangman reverse. We'll see what happens. Virgo 2015. The Lovers. Okay, this is absolutely the 7th house. This is the sun going into the sector of your partnerships. So there's a reciprocating energy here, but this isn't the card of marriage, but it is the card of connection. Okay, so let's start with that. Let me get the rest of them out. This is some sacrifice that you might have to come up with. The Eight of Wands is you making some sacrifices that you might not want. This could be diet. This could be the restriction as well, and the restriction of Saturn. The Hierophant. The Hierophant is a counselor, but he's also a guru, someone you learn from, a teacher, a wiser professor. But this is also a very spiritual card. I want to see what else comes up. We have two more cards, actually, that came up. This is my favorite card, aesthetically. The Six of Swords is the higher power, the loving breeze guiding you across the ocean. And this is the Seven of Swords, which, I don't know, you might want to watch your gossip or the tone of how you're coming across. But let me see how these all work together. Okay, now for Virgos who aren't in relationships, I feel like when the sun goes into your seventh, that energy starts to pick up in a big way. You can meet someone suddenly. For those of you who are, you might be seeing a counselor or a therapist, or you might be trying to learn how to improve and go with the flow, how not to react or to your relationship. Also, for those of you making sacrifices to be with the one you love, there could be resentment around that. Or if these two are applied together, whatever you had to give up might be making you bitter or say things you don't mean. Just some advice here. This is the most positive card out of them, is just try to not anticipate the next move of your relationship and just stay centered as to where you are in the relationship, because you're ultimately only living for yourself. You weren't born in a relationship and you won't die in a relationship, even if you're in one. Everybody dies alone. So I think that you need to focus on what calms you down, what gives you reserves and strength, and maybe you're going to get some education for yourself. Take a class, get informed. Don't think that you know everything. But this is also very spiritual. You could come across someone that you feel like you're learning an exorbitant amount of information from. So, I don't know, when you run across some kind of spiritual guide or leader, you might want to take heed and get informed. All right, Virgo, I hope you have a beautiful February. My name is Audrey Alison, and I will see you next month. Have a sweet day. Bye.